This is the MGTOW Infinium here with another Infinium training session. This Infinium training session is entitled Don't Fall For It, Continued. Now, my MGTOW brothers, in the previous Infinium training session, which was entitled Don't Fall For It, I discussed the various things that women are doing in their desperation to get into your lives, to get themselves entwined into your lives, and how this is being done because of the advancement and the penetration of the MGTOW philosophy. What I want to discuss today is some tactics that women are using, which are very dangerous and can be harmful to you as a MGTOW man in every area of your life. Now, the first tactic is called mimicking. And mimicking is where a woman actually mimics a man to obtain a goal, such as getting into your life or getting a business going under kind of fraudulent types of activities, or just trying to ease her way into something that she should not be into, like ease her way into your business or your ideas, where she can take control of them and profit off of them, leaving you with nothing. Perhaps the greatest example in recent times of mimicking can be said of Elizabeth Holmes. And she is the one that founded that Theranos company, which was a blood testing company, supposedly blood testing company, which would basically take a pinprick of blood and be able to diagnose the person that's being diagnosed with their very every issue that they have. So like if they have like a problem with their kidneys or something like that, this little pinprick was supposed to diagnose that problem. Only thing, it was a big fraud. And one of the things that Elizabeth Holmes did was to mimic the late, great Steve Jobs of Apple fame. And how she did this, she basically lowered her voice to talk like a man, because if you hear her talk in her normal voice, she has a higher pitched voice. But when you hear her pitching for Theranos and pitching for that fraudulent blood testing machine, she's talking in a almost baritone voice. Steve Jobs liked to dress up in black turtlenecks, or actually all black outfit. Elizabeth Holmes did the same thing. And Steve Jobs, being the innovator that he was, he basically knew how to sell innovation. And Elizabeth Holmes mimicked him in terms of selling her fraud. And because of that, she was able to get some high-end investors to put money into Theranos, such as the Walmart family, Rupert Murdoch, let's see who else, the Cox family, let's see, who else here, Betsy DeVos, a lot of people, millions of dollars, millions to billions of dollars were invested into this fraud, only to find out that that machine never worked. Elizabeth Holmes was a shill and a con artist. But this can happen to you, my brothers, as well. And mimicking can come in many forms, such as, let's say, for instance, you're on a job site. And I'll take myself as an example. When I was working on one job, I began to notice. Well, let me back up. I when I get into a workplace, I like to kind of move around. I like to kind of learn everything about the operation because what I'm doing is gathering information to basically help myself and to look into business opportunities or look for ways to use techniques I'm using on the job to use for myself to do what I need to do. But one of the things I noticed when I did this was that women would begin to mimic what I was doing. So, like when I moved to a department, all of a sudden a particular woman was there. I moved out of that department to another department, she was there again. Moved away from that department to another department, she was there again. So she was actually mimicking me and following me around to get what I was doing, to get, first of all, an understanding of what I was doing, and then secondly, to use it to her advantage because she saw what I was doing was working. And so that's what I'm saying. They will mimic you. They will look at what you're doing, try to ascertain how you're doing it, and then begin to mimic you. And in certain places, they will try to do a replacement kill on you in terms of moving you out of a position and saying, well, look, I can do it better than so and so, meaning you. So again, you have to be careful and you have to be aware of these things that women will use mimicking to not only to profit from you, but to cause you to lose money, to cause you to be undermined. All those types of things will happen to you from a woman's mimicking. You'll find that very few women actually know what they're doing. So, I guess again, in the case of Elizabeth Holmes, she really didn't know what she was doing. She basically had no knowledge of blood testing, of what it takes to do a accurate blood test, how dangerous it is if a blood test is not done right. She never really had that understanding, and that's what I would say of the women that kind of mimic you. You'll find that they do not have the understanding that you do. They do not have the credentials or the time put in. Basically, what they're doing is they're analyzing what you're doing and following what you're doing, and if they need any other information, they're doing getting on Google or something like that and finding out how you're doing it and why you're doing it. And so again, my MGTOW brothers, be careful of these things. See if you see women are doing these things to you, do everything that you can to kind of throw them off course. Just keep your ideas and your movements about the company or whatever you're doing personally. Just keep them close to your vest. Don't discuss them. Don't say anything because again, these are um, tactical details that women are using on you to not only throw you off course, but to actually destroy you long term. And I've had in my past a couple of cases which nearly devastated me because of mimicking. One was I was in the past I was a professional photographer. I still am basically, but um, I was on a job and a woman that I knew, I thought that was my friend, began mimicking me, and the next thing I know, I was up for a job opening, and this woman actually, through mimicking and through talking the right talk, pushed me out of that promotion, pushed me out of that job opening, and I lost, and I was truly devastated because the persons that I thought were my friends had actually undermined me and caused me to be in that state. So again, it is to your advantage to keep these details. If you're having any types of things that are going on in your life where you're going through detailed operations to better yourself, both on the job or privately, to build your business, to do anything, keep those details close to your vest. Keep those ideas close to your vest. Don't even tell members of your family if you have to, because it is best for you to keep those things under wraps. Only when you know that you're in a place such as, for instance, trying to get financing for your company, or get a bank account or something like that, or get the LLC or whatever you're trying to do, where you have to give details about what you're doing. That's the only places that you do it. But otherwise, you keep mum about what you're doing, where you're going. If you're going to lunch at a company and you're moving around the company, just sit there quietly. Don't talk, or don't get into, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to go on here. Don't say it. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. Eat your sandwich, enjoy it, and go about your business. Because it's best for you to keep quiet about what you're doing. Because again, long term, women that mimic can destroy you. They can destroy you. They can, again, cause you to be in a bad place. And so it's best not to, again, give up any type of information about what you're doing unless it is absolutely necessary. And that is, again, trying to get a bank account, trying to get financing for something, trying to get LLC or whatever you're trying to do that is business wise, or again, if you're in a company, don't talk to a lot of people. Just when you need to move and you need to talk to a personnel manager or something like that, that's the only time. And even then, you be careful. Now, the second tactic, let me see here, let me get this open here, is infiltration. And mimicking and infiltration can go hand in hand, but infiltration is where the woman has obtained tactical data about yourself, about you as a MGTOW man, and is now using it to infiltrate herself into your life. And I'll give an example. The last woman that I dated before I became MGTOW, and of course this is years ago, I didn't know what MGTOW was until about 2016, 2017, but I, because of this woman, became a MGTOW man. I took the red pill and became MGTOW because of it. But one of the things that she did was to obtain tactical data about me and use it on me to infiltrate herself into my life. And I am a multi-skilled person. I can do photography, I can do writing, I do computer work, electronics, retail, all types of things, and it's really basically a case of if I put my mind to it, I can do it. And I'm not boasting on myself. I know many, many men who put their minds to what they're doing every day and they get what needs to be done. But getting back to this woman, she basically began to target me, and because of my naivety and my mouth, basically, she obtained information about me so that she could use it to infiltrate my life. And one of the things that she did was to obtain information about my photography businesses that I had at the time. And all of a sudden, I'm talking to her at work and I'm talking to a group of people, and she begins to spout off terminology and photography and everything. And she's like, hey, I can go with you on a job, and, I can set up a tripod for you and everything. I can help you set up lights and stuff like that. I'll even do it for free. And, we began to talking and going on and everything. And what, again, she was doing, she was doing infiltration. And infiltration can happen basically through a process which I discussed in a few videos earlier called bridging. And what she was doing to me was bridging to me. And she was using information that she had gathered about me being a photographer, and spewing it back so she could bridge to me and get on the plane with me. And I ended up getting involved with her. Found out she was basically a Christian thought, and it was a horrible experience. But one of the things that I found, she was a shill. She really didn't know anything about anything. And one of the things that I found out about her that really surprised me, that she was really kind of dumb, and I had fell for it. And the way I found out was we were at dinner. Of course, I was paying for the dinner. And I was paying for not only for her but her peeps and this and that and whatever. So it was a very expensive dinner. And again, it was due to my naivety, which again, she was the one that caused me to go MGTOW. But nevertheless, she spouting off all this diatribe about the continent of Africa being the only continent which does not have a volcano on it. And me being a nerd and being trained in earth science and being trained in not only earth science, planetary sciences, astronomy, all that, I'm like, no, this Earth is a geologically active planet, and there are volcanoes on every continent of this planet. And so I said, well, no, that's not right. There are volcanoes on the continent of Africa, notably Mount Kilimanjaro. And so she gets angry with me, and now you need to shut up, and you don't. So that really opened my eyes, and that really opened my eyes to how deeply I have been taken. I have been taken hook, line, and sinker by this woman. And so a few months after that, I'd say like maybe a month and a half after that, we had broken up. I had dumped her, and that's another story for another time. But that's what I'm saying to you, my MGTOW brothers, that women will use information about you, tactical information about you, to infiltrate themselves into your lives. They will use it to not only infiltrate themselves into your lives, but to cause you to be hung up, to cause you to be tied up into their business or whatever they're doing, their disturbia, whatever they're doing. And so you in the end wind up as a loser. And I would say to my MGTOW brothers, again, watch out for the infiltration tactics. Watch out for them just kind of hanging around you, and you're talking about, maybe I'm talking about my computers and how I'm doing this, I'm building that and this and that. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't keep your mouth shut. Keep your ideas to yourself. I'll give you another instance of what happens with infiltration. I can say easily, because of infiltration, I have people have made close to $750 million off of me. I can say that easily. And that is because, again, infiltration. And that's why, again, you as a MGTOW man, you must understand that you are in a great war, because that $750 million, that was in the past. That's now years ago. Now you can only imagine what's going on right now. How desperate these women are. How panicked they are about having their resources taken away from them because of the MGTOW philosophy. Because of what's going on, because of men saying no because of men saying, no, I do not want a woman in my life. I don't want a woman in my business. I don't want this anymore. You can only imagine. Again, some of the things that happened to me in the past are far greater now in terms of their devastation, in terms of what they can do to destroy you as a MGTOW man that are currently going on. We are in a great war. We are in a war that is far beyond scope, but it is a war that is winnable if we stick to our guns, if we stick to holding the line and keeping our mouth shut. So I would say to my MGTOW brothers, if you are building a business, keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut only to where it is necessary. Again, where you need to talk to like a banker, or you need to talk to the government or something like that, where they require details about what you're doing, like a business plan or something like that. That's the only time that you say something. But in a casual conversation, and if you're staying at checkout line and somebody notices that maybe you look like a businessman, that just tell that woman to turn around and leave you alone. That's what you need to do. Keep your ideas, keep your plans and thoughts close to your heart. Don't discuss them with any woman. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And it's not saying that all women are bad. I know there is one woman that helped me a long time ago when I was a kid to read and write and do things and do math and everything. But what I'm saying to my brothers, that's the past. Women like that are very, very few and far in between. What I'm saying to you is most likely that a woman will not help you, but she will undermine you and try to destroy you. So again, my MGTOW brothers, understand these two tactics. Understand these things, that mimicking can happen to you and infiltration can happen to you. They are both very dangerous. They can be very devastating. And it can cause you, again, to actually lose your life. So I'll say to you, my MGTOW brothers, look at these things and accept that there are no unicorns. There are no, when that woman who bats her eyes at you and says that I can help you, I'm sorry about that, but I can help you, I can help you in your business, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. It is not the truth. In reality, she's using you as a stepping stone to either get into your life or to get her thumb on your life to control you. And you, my MGTOW brothers, deserve your freedom. You have to think of it this way. You're the ones who are critical thinkers. You're the ones who came up with these ideas. You came up with the things that you're working with in your mind. You're the ones that get out and work hard and really literally don't get credit for it. All you get is a bashing and a kick down. You're the ones. You're the ones that make things happen. I know this is the case with many MGTOW men that make things happen, that they go out and they do what they need to do. But yet we are the ones that get the criticism, that get, again, the mimicking, the infiltration tactics on us. My MGTOW brothers, don't allow these things to be in your lives anymore. Again, you are on a road to freedom. You're on a road to a better place. And there's nothing wrong within a conversation when a woman asks you, what are you doing? How are you doing this? To say, mind your own business. This has been the MGTOW Infinium. And this has been an Infinium Training session. My MGTOW brothers, stay safe, stay strong, stay on the MGTOW path, and remember, MGTOW is the liberation of men's minds. MGTOW cannot and will not be stopped.